Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night, and you know what time it is. It's time for the baddest Alabama content show there is on YouTube, the Bama Standard. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Live chat, I don't have to tell you to do anything. You know what to do. People who are watching the replay, get in the comment section. Show us some love. Before I introduce my great crew, I want to let you know we are brought to you by Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence or a full-fledged marketing team, these are the guys you need to contact today to get your business coached up the right way. Hit them at workspacepros.com. Not right now, but after the show, and they'll hook you up. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is built on a firm foundation of star power, and all the star power is in one square tonight. He is the living legend, the undefeated, undisputed king of comedy, and the star of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the building, Steve Brown.
I mean, it wouldn't be a show without me, man. I know everybody's glad I'm back.
We operated just fine last week without you.
And I've been on this cruise. The women were loving me. Just a lot of massages and me walking around the boat nude, and it was a lovely thing, man. It was a lovely thing. As a matter of fact, I don't have on any bottoms, and yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I can see the kids on the boat screaming now. Who let their granddad with Alzheimer's out his room?
You talking massages? Were you hanging out with Hugh Freeze on the boat?
Hey man, no, actually, it was me and Deshaun Watson. But look,
All right, we'll sort that out later. But with him is a 1999 All-SEC linebacker. When Ric Flair said, "To be the man, woo, you got to beat the man." Ladies and gentlemen, he is that man, Marvin Constant.
Listen, I just wanted Steve Brown to see this. See, this is when you do real work, you get a real helmet, okay? That helmet they gave you for your own safety from falling power lines and paint chips, all right? So again, maybe one day, sir. Maybe one day.
Man, whatever. I got a helmet.
Listen up, folks. We are a network of star hosts. Stephen Smith cannot be here. He had an optical emergency. So Lens Crafters is trying to correct that. Bo Scarborough is actually on location training up the next generation of Crimson Tide running backs. Instead, coming back to the stage as one of the most outspoken analysts on the Bama Standard Network, he comes from the final whistle, and he has a disdain from Auburn like no other, but my other co-host can probably vouch that she has that as well. Welcome back, Daniel Petty.
Glad to be here, man. Without, such a legend in the house. And then, of course, these former Bama players. So it's, just exciting to be here with you guys.
Thank you for wearing a shirt that's appropriate color.
Is this color okay with you, Marvin?
Other than that baby powder blue crap you were wearing, we know where your heart really lies.
They sell powder blue in Tuscaloosa now with crimson A's on it. Just saying.
But most people who buy them aren't Ole Miss fans.
Hey man, hold up. Y'all listen. I just noticed something. Are y'all trying to gentrify this show? What the hell is going on?
Well, that's a perfect segue because one of the best analysts out there.
And then y'all were on time.
They were on time.
Hey, Steve, next thing you know, they're gonna be buying them new modern houses, trying to move us out, huh?
Yeah, man, trying to move us out. Go ahead, Justin.
Man, not to steal her shine away, but straight from the Crimson Dynasty and ESPN Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in for the first time ever on the Bama Standard, Hannah Stevens.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's the second time. It's the second time I've been on the show.
He's getting old. You got to forgive him.
We're at a museum.
That all-timers kicking in.
The regular stream, not
You're
the
right.
live performance. But
I'm very honored to be here.
Yes. So welcome to the stage. But listen, we're here for a reason. We are here to celebrate one of the baddest dudes to ever be in a Bama secondary. He could shut down in an entire field. He is a New York Jet, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the stage, Jaylen Key.
My cousin. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Jaylen. Before we get started, I got to deliver a message to you. So Roman Harper was supposed to be on, but he's traveling today. He's on his way back to Alabama for a golf tournament. So But he said he believes in you and he knows you're going to do amazing things on the next level. And as well as so many of us out there, he shares the same sentiment. So he just wanted to wish you well and tell you, go do what Bama does.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I appreciate that.
And I got a message too, man. You're going to do well, and just know that I love you, man.
Hey, love.
So I don't know if you have heard the news. You probably already knew before most of us do, but are you aware of the new Lank country song with Walker Hayes, Terrion, and Jalen Milroe that's going to be released? If you do, please fill us in on this.
Hey, I haven't heard anything about it. I guess we all to be tuned in together.
He announced that earlier today. Terry and Arnold did on the round table. And that's been the buzz on Twitter and all social media. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, maybe Jaylen knows. So I thought I'd ask you about it.
Right.
Did you write the song?
Hey, I might have contributed a little bit.
Okay.
More than I love Steve Brown contributed. I can tell you that.
I contributed just a little bit.
Listen, man, we're here to celebrate you. And, you know, the last pick of the draft is named Mr. Irrelevant. We're going to change that. You're going to be very relevant to this league for a long period of time. Have they already celebrated that week for you that they usually give to that position?
Right. Not yet. Towards the end of June, I'll be going out to celebrate that week.
Jaylen, tell Steve he cannot join you in Disney. Not an option. Just go ahead and kill it right now.
Hey, man, don't do that. Because I read all the stuff he's going to sneak in. So, yeah.
It's only one Donald. Only one Donald Duck in Disney.
Do you still have that restraining order from the Harry Potter theme park?
Hey, man, don't worry about all that. So, hold on. So when were you chosen, Jaylen?
In the draft, last pick.
The last pick?
57.
You lying.
Hey.
He's been on a cruise. Don't pay him no attention.
No.
He's been on a cruise, so he's out of touch.
Yeah.
No, hold on. So what the hell were they thinking?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but hey, it's all cool. Like, I couldn't ask for a better story, better platform to write a story on.
Did you know beforehand? Had they called you, or were you sitting there still kind of nervous? Like, oh, we're down to the last pick. It's
they called me beforehand. They called me beforehand. So as the pick was coming up, like the pick before, they kind of called me. So I knew coming up that's what it was.
But it's a lot of folks that you could have hopped over. But you know what? You made it. That's all that matters, man. And I love you, man.
I'm so glad that Steve can bring so many of his cousins on this show. It adds so much more value to us. It's allowed our subscribers go up. We appreciate Steve Brown for bringing on yet another cousin. But let's go ahead and let's celebrate Jaylen. I'm going to let the room go around after I ask my question. We'll start out with Hannah, then go to Marvin, then swing back to the star of the show, and then Petty will close up, and then we'll start all over again. So, Jaylen, I got to ask you, man, you were one of the top defensive backs coming out of UAB, and had you chosen to go pro then, you still would have got selected, no doubt. You would have been an impact immediately on whatever team would have selected you, but you felt like you had some unfinished business, and that business was going to be satisfied going to Alabama. So let me ask you, why was going to Alabama so important to your journey getting to the NFL?
Right. So like growing up, you always kind of dream of playing on the biggest stage, whether that's going to a premier college or the next level, the NFL. So for me, it was about kind of preparing for that next level. So going to Alabama, that's what it was preparing for that next level to be ready for the pros. So you're going to Alabama, you're going in to compete against the best for a starting position. You're going against the best every day in practice. In the offense. So you're playing against the best every week, pretty much the best in the country, premier talent in the country. So that's what it was for me, just prepare for the next level and going there. That's what it was. All business.
No doubt. How did expectation versus reality pan out for you going in to Alabama?
You go in with a lot of expectations of what it is. You always hear stories about what it is, and it turned out to be pretty much everything that it is. So it definitely lived up to all the expectations, and I mean, reality is reality. Once you get there, you're a part of the team. B-side 5, we're brothers for life. Most
Put your hands down, Steve.
We're brothers for life, always. But once you get there, we're just like the rest of the team. We got a target on your back. We got one goal in mind, and we all. That's what we're working towards the whole summer, whole fall camp.
Jaylen, obviously, congratulations. You know, regardless of where you get drafted, I mean, having the opportunity to go play pro is, you know, every child's bucket list item, right? So let's take it back for a moment. Before I ask you about, obviously, what it means to be Mr. Relevant, you know, you mentioned how you came from UAB, you picked Alabama to go to the NFL, and obviously now Saban's retired. So my twofold question to you, this first question is, A, you know, what was it like seeing Saban not only as your coach, but being an analyst on game day? And secondly, you know, how much did Alabama being a pipeline to the NFL really persuade you to, you know, transfer there than any other program?
Right. So Alabama's the premier program when it comes down to putting guys in the next level, especially in my position. So I'm a DB, I'm a safety. I'm gonna be with Coach Saban the whole day. He's with the DBs in our meetings. He's sitting in front of the meetings. So that's what it was to go be trained by the best in the country. Go and play in his system, which is one of the best defensive systems in the country to ever exist. So that's what it was for me with Coach Saban, and with him being an analyst now. Hey, I think he do pretty good. He always will, whatever he do in life. So that's.
And then my second question for you, Jaylen, is, you know, obviously with the name Mr. Relevant, that comes with, you can either choose it to be positive, or, you know, some people take a negative connotation. But you look at the most recent player who was a Mr. Relevant, Brock Purdy, led his team to the Super Bowl this past year. You know, how can you utilize that name? Obviously, you mentioned that you're going to be having a week where they honor that. What is that going to, like, how are you perceiving it? And, you know, how are you can use that as motivation to get your shot in the NFL and prove people that, hey, I might have been picked last, but, you know, I'm here to make my name known.
Right. So I don't definitely see it as a negative thing. Definitely not. And I'm going to roll with it. That's what it is. I mean, God don't make mistakes. He kind of prepares us for these moments early on in life, and he prepares us for what's to come and what we're going to walk into. So for me, it's a huge platform to build on and write my story on. So I can ask for a better platform to write my story on. Everything I do great in the next level, that's always going to come up, and it's just going to build on that. So I can ask for a better title.
That's what's up, man.
Now I know you said God does not make mistakes.
Here he goes.
But I'm gonna say but. I've had so many friends and guys that I've known over the years that have been drafted late in the draft. And the one thing that a lot of them have consistently said was they wish they wouldn't have been drafted late in the 7th round. They would rather have been free agents so that they could have picked their path to giving themselves a better opportunity to make a team based upon those rosters and those systems. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I went to the perfect system. I mean, I talked to those guys in the pre-draft process couple times, actually. The DB coach, Coach Manuel, Coach M, or M as he wants us to call him. So M, shout out to him. But I fit the system. For me, yes, that's kind of what they say a lot of times, as far as like, I'd rather go free agent, undrafted free agent, so you can kind of choose your path and you understand the system that you're going into, choose the people that you want to be around. But for me, it just was perfect for me. That their defense, top defense in the NFL. What better defense to go play on?
You get to play with Sauce, with Quentin.
So little baby cousin on my dad and nephew side. Let me ask you this. Now, this term, Mr. Irrelevant, you know, of course you could change that narrative. You can change that narrative, and I believe that you're going to have an excellent story. But I want you to look up to your top left hand to my right. That's Marvin. He's going to always be irrelevant on this show. Always, forever. So I just want you to know that ain't nothing changing. He's going to always be irrelevant. And I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that with love. That's it.
Do you want to rub and hold my all SEC plaque and just feel like you're part of the team for a little while? Is that it?
Shut up, Marvin.
I thought he got better, Steve, in your absence. I thought the heart was supposed to grow fonder, but apparently became more bitter.
Exactly.
We'll continue to pray for him. Petty, what you
Came back
got?
from his cruise dressed like a cheap bottle of water. Man, take that shirt off. Come on, let's go.
Man, everybody likes to gripe and complain about the new era of college football and the transfer portal and NIL and all the madness that comes with it. And I guess probably when you started, it was just getting going. But man, you kind of got to praise the portal when it works in your favor. You're obviously an example of that, in the old era. And this kind of bleeds into my question. You might not ever have stepped foot in a crimson uniform. When you started at UAB, did you ever foresee yourself at Bama? And B, without the portal, would you have just stuck it out and gone pro, or would you have still transferred?
All right. So I would have definitely probably stuck it out down there at UAB with the Blazers. I would love to them, but I mean, the portal works two ways. Obviously, it works. It's guys that use it a different way than other guys. For me, it worked out pretty much perfect for what I needed it for. So I got nothing but love for the portal. You got guys that get in the portal pretty much just for no reason. So that's kind of the bad side of the portal. You got guys that hop in that's not really prepared for it. So they end up sitting and going places that it's not really good for them. You got guys that get in there for reasons, money. And that's all good if that's what you're looking for.
Well,
but for me, I used it to prepare for the next level, and nothing beats Alabama. So if it wasn't for the portal, I would have definitely never been in that crimson and white. And I never
felt saw good though, didn't it? Didn't it feel good?
Amazing. I never seen myself ever playing for the crimson and white once I got down at UAB, but I'm highly favored.
So let me ask you this.
You did the work.
That's
Not
right.
everybody can put that helmet on. That ain't for everybody.
You
got to do the work for that.
The Crimson don't offer unless you earned it, especially safety stuff, man.
And to piggyback off what Marvin said, Jaylen, you did the work in arguably the biggest games of the year last year. And I think that having exposure in big games like against an LSU, against a Texas on a national stage, which you showed out on those two games, you kind of get ahead of the curve when it comes to jumping into NFL. Let's go back to that LSU game. That was probably one of your best games. You showed out, and that was probably one of the most exciting games of the season. It was a turning point for us as a team, and it kind of turned the page. It leaped us forward to what we ultimately accomplished. What was your biggest takeaway from that game, you personally?
Yeah, so I played pretty much 2 years back to back. I played them at UAB.
What did you have against them? Because you showed out against them there too.
Yeah, so I might have had like 14 tackles or something. Maybe a pass deflection. I was supposed to have a fumble recovery to the crib. I kind of fumbled it. It was kind of wet out, so we always want those back. But I had a pretty good 2 years against them. Actually, when I was with the Tide, when I was in the Crimson and White, I actually pulled my quad that game. I was out on a pass breakup. But coming from it, I mean, you're playing some of the best talent in the world when you're playing against LSU. I mean, from a quarterback standpoint to receiver room, they always going to have somebody that's gunning for you. So you take that away, you're playing against NFL talent that you're going to see in the next level in the next couple years or the next year. So,
no doubt. Real quick, Johnny R.T. Davis for the 1999 Super Sticker. Greatly appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this show.
Hey, that's a nice profile pic you have too, Johnny.
Wait a minute.
You didn't catch that, huh?
Is that me in that picture?
No, that was you.
Look like me.
Marvin photoshopped. But I got one more, and then I'll switch it over to Hannah, and we go through the same order. One of the things that Trent Richardson, Bama legend, always used to talk about before he went pro, he took a lot of time just molding the next man up so he could pass the baton and fully trust that he had things taken care of once he stepped away. And he didn't feel like he could step away until he fully knew that guy could take those reins. For you, who was that guy, and how did you prepare him to take over for when you stepped away?
Right. So I mean, you had a bunch of guys that were still left over there at Bama. But of course, when Coach Saban retired, you got a handful of guys that, especially from the DB room, just because that's his room pretty much. That got out of there pretty much, transferred, went to other programs. It's kind of part of the game now. But I mean, coming from last year, you got guys like T. Mitch who just got in the portal actually. Of course, you got like definitely Malachi. He's already a dog there, so that's definitely not nobody that I would just say that. I left there. He's already prominent. So, probably
Right.
I would.
Go ahead.
I got you. What would you say?
I was going to ask you two questions. I just wasn't sure if you're done with answering his.
Oh, I got you. Oh no. Go ahead.
You go ahead. You're the head.
Y'all want me to go? Because I'll go ahead and go.
No, I'll go. Okay. I got two questions. All right, Jaylen. Okay. Obviously, the transfer portal is something that, we were talking about earlier, can benefit and can be negative. We've talked about it on our show, and I've said it from the very beginning that I'm not opposed to the NIL or the transfer portal. It's really just kind of the boundaries and the rules and regulations NCAA has not done a good job establishing. You were obviously in the portal. It worked out well for you, but take us through the process, what it looks like to be in the portal. Because if I'm not mistaken, you have like Oregon, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Florida State, those type of programs besides Alabama looking at you, and then you narrowed it down. Obviously chose Alabama, but what is it like entering the portal? How do teams contact you? Take us through that a little bit, and then I have one more question for you.
Right. So for me in the portal, it was pretty hectic. Literally probably about 10, 15 minutes into them entering my name into the portal. I was receiving countless messages, phone calls. Phone is going pretty crazy for about 4, 5, 6 hours until I went into the evening. Twitter's going crazy. You have all these different schools following you. So I pretty much, when I got in the portal, I pretty much was contacted by probably all the major schools in the country pretty much, and offered by a lot of programs. So that's what my portal experience was. Some people have the exact opposite, but once I got in, it's pretty hectic. And you're pretty much talking to different coaches every day. You're having to keep up with stuff. You're having to keep up with who you're contacting, what's their pitch, visits, things of that nature. So what fits you? What kind of program do they have? What kind of defense do they have? What kind of safeties do they produce? So that's things that you have to keep up with in the portal. I had to keep up in the portal every day.
Sure. And then one more question for you. Obviously Alabama, so many players going many rounds in the NFL. But Alabama players are so well versed in many levels, not just the physical abilities, not only, how they perform on the field, but even like cognitive and mental evaluations and, how kind of Saban has made it. I mean, let's just be honest. One of my favorite clips I shared on our show before was Quinnen Williams when he was talking about CJ. Was it CJ Stroud or I can't remember which quarterback it was, but he was going to say something negative, but he called himself like
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Yeah, exactly. So you look at that and how Nick Saban, even at a collegiate level, when y'all were in college versus in the NFL. I mean, I know you're only there for a short time, but how did Alabama truly prepare you for getting this opportunity? Not only how you performed, but how you spoke to teams, how you met them, all of that.
Right. So it's the process. Even though I only got a little under a year, half of a year with experiencing it, it's one of a kind and it's different. Support staff and the ways they go to make sure that you're prepared for life, well versed. The different people that they put you around in different rooms you sit in with, all these different people is prepare you for your professional career, and it's prepare you for after that. So going through Alabama, going through the process is much different because it prepares you for life. It doesn't just prepare you to be a football player. Although you're going to be a great football player, it doesn't prepare you just to be a football player. It prepares you for life, to be a husband, to be, if you have to go into the force, to be a good worker, to be a professional athlete if that's how it turns out, which in most cases when you're playing for the Crimson, you do a pretty good job, you're gonna be all right. So
Boy, like in Steve Brown's case, being the Hamburglar holding the happy birthday sign at McDonald's birthday parties. Oh.
Real quick, I want to take a pause in the action. Folks, listen, the football season never truly ends, especially not at Alabama. Even though this offseason, we're still getting ready for the next season. One of the best ways to do that is to grab a title towel. Go over to whitwellsports.com today and grab your title towel. Matter of fact, we love you guys in the audience so much, we will give you a discount. Enter the promo code STANDARD, get you a nice little bit of change back, courtesy of your favorite show on YouTube. That's right, the title towel at whitwellsports.com. Visit them today. And Jaylen, I have to make a correction. I didn't mean to say LSU. I meant to say Tennessee, because you had 7 stops in that game, and that game was a big deal, and I felt like that was a turning point for us as well. And anytime we beat Tennessee, especially in a revenge game, is something to celebrate.
Definitely.
So Jaylen, one question real quick before I ask my question. Are you familiar with the interview that Hannah's referencing?
I think I've seen it. I've seen it.
Do this when you see Quinn. I want you to do this. Say, I don't think Kyler Murray and just stop right there and just see what he say.
I can play it.
You trying to get that man swung on. Don't do that.
And stop right there.
He just got there, man.
I don't think Kyler Murray and then stop at the don't go no further.
Right.
But
It was the Orange
play
Bowl.
Hold on. But
Okay.
here's the thing, though, Jaylen. So playing safety and corner, there's so many similarities, but so many differences. And I know a lot of people won't feel this way, but I know it's the truth. Playing, defensive back in the NFL is one of the most lonely and difficult jobs in the world, because you're often on an island against, guys that are some of the best athletes in the world. And a lot of times, even at safety, you can end up on those guys one-on-one, and it's not an easy job. So going to the Jets and playing with a guy like Sauce Gardner, who was defensive rookie of the year a couple years back, I know there's a lot of things you'll be able to learn from him and take away from, from his game, as well as the other defensive backs on the team. So what are your goals for your rookie season? And how is Aaron Rodgers doing? Is he ready?
Oh, he all go.
All right.
He all go, man. But for me, that's what is that's you go into a locker room and you kind of get nuggets from the veterans, and that's what I plan on doing. Going in and getting things from these guys that to take your game to the next level and help you play in the league for years to come. Because and on that level, it's more technique. Yes, everybody here is great athletes. That's part of the process. You're not gonna really get in unless you're a pretty good athlete. So it's about the technique, and the guys are mentally strong to be able to sustain the game. So,
Cuz, let me ask you this. Marvin commented on being, defensive back and safety being a lonely position. And I played those positions. I was lonely because I never got in the game. Listen, can you don't do that. Can you just talk on that, encouraging guys to keep working hard to get in, because I never got into one game. I dressed out, I ate steak, I did all that, but that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So just encouraging, I'd say just keep going.
Did you just laugh at me? Did you just laugh?
I mean, you asked him for a personal pep talk, and the guys were talking to other kids.
I quit.
But one of the things about it, a lot of people they'll never understand it. But when people the fans are watching ESPN and you see that defensive back being scored on, they're not going to talk about what may have happened with, the underneath coverage. They're not going to talk about the pressure that wasn't there. They're going to isolate that defensive back who got. That's why I say it's a lonely position.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you sign up for when you play DBs. You sign up not only to make your plays and be there and do your job, but you pretty much sign up to make everybody else right also. So,
all right. So I got one more question. Have you ever not gotten in the game and on the way home you put grass and dirt on your uniform to make your homeboys think you played? You laughing again.
I don't think I've ever done that one.
You laughing again. You laughing again. You too old to be so silly. You laughing again.
Right. I apologize. Add me to the prayer list. Before Petty goes, I just got a message from your former coach, Jason Jones, Jaylen. He was going to be on tonight, but he's actually at a conference right now. He tried his best to get on, but he wanted to make sure you knew this so he at least have an impact felt. He said, I'm proud of you, and I knew you'd make it one day. And the hard work is starting to pay off, and you're barely getting started.
That's what's up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's my guy. I appreciate it.
Petty?
Look, man, it's no secret. You got to do something. Look, not everybody wants to that straps it on wants to play college football for the team they dream of, and you got to do that at Alabama. But not just that, man. In the history of time, it's going to go down. You played for the greatest coach to ever do it, and
Right.
not just that, at the position that he specializes in. So, man, I got to throw a bone to all of our fans that come out to the Bama Standard and support this, because we just can't get enough. You know, we love the Saban stories. So, again, man, you got to kiss greatness in a way that not many did, playing for the man. What story, when you hang up the cleats, when you sit back and look, what's going to be the story or that makes you laugh, or the one that makes you think, man, that dude was the GOAT? What story is that for you?
And before you answer, one last thing. Also, somebody put this in the chat, but I thought about this the other day. The fact that you are his last draft pick. Oh,
Right.
You gonna go down in history forever.
Yeah. Oh, that's a, yeah.
And before you answer this, know that I love you.
Hey, love, man. Hey, but I was definitely going to kind of get into that. Just this major love for Coach Saban, man. Believing in the guy. Come in and pretty much compete for a starting job and be the starter throughout the season. And for me, being his pretty much last draft pick is huge. And also, I mean, I was his last kind of signee for the class. You can count the early enrollees, but I was kind of the last guy to sign for that class coming in. That was his last season. But being that and his last draft pick is huge. That's what I signed up for. And then like a story I'd say, I take a lot of things from Coach Saban. You know, he always throwing nuggets out there. One of the bigger things I take is just he always would say that there's a price that got to be paid, and it's not can't get it on the back end in this game. We got to pay it up front. So that's preparing. So every Saturday you're preparing for a game is quite different at Alabama. The preparation that he kind of make you go through to prepare for a game is huge, and it helps you for the next level. So preparation, preparing for a game, and then just a funny story. I'd say so. I'll probably say when I first got to Alabama, you know, they just kind of give out numbers. So I was in like 22 when I first got to Alabama. Over that summer, you got 7-on-7s, the start of camp, and you know, I came out, made some plays in camp. And I kind of had already told him that I wanted to switch numbers. So he told me he was going to definitely take care of me. I just got to, you know, you got to perform in camp. You got to be that guy. You can't just come in and think you can get. That's not how it works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, make a couple plays. I ended up getting my number changed. Got down. I got in 6. My twin, that's my twin, number twin, Dix. That's my number twin. But I got in 6. So maybe like my first day in 6, like we have like flex. You know what flex is? We're doing it for centers. So we got flex in the flanks. Flex, you do like jumping jacks. So we were just doing jumping jacks. I'm doing them how I usually always do them. And I just hear somebody screaming my name. I already know who it is because he's the only person that sounds like him. But we're doing flex. We're doing the jumping jacks, and I guess my hands wasn't going high enough for him. So he came over. He told me he was gonna put me back in double deuce. That's what he called me. He didn't even call me 22. He called me double deuce. So he said, "I'm gonna put you back in double deuce if you don't do the jumping jacks right." So then we go straight from flex pretty much into tackle drills. I came out and it was like an open field tackle, and I let him get back across my leverage. He went crazy. He told me tomorrow that 22 was gonna be in my locker.
Was it in your locker?
It wasn't in my locker. I guess the old man kind of got soft a little bit. It wasn't in my locker.
Well, one thing I can tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. I just want to make you aware so that you're prepared when it happens. At some point in your life, it might not be next week, it might not be this season, but at some point in your life, you will be the answer to an Aflac trivia question. Remember, I told you that.
Hey, another thing, I'm telling you something. Don't feel so bad about your number because before Marvin became 45, he was the alphabet. So don't worry about that. Just keep doing your thing, man.
Are you saying he was in a lineup?
Yeah, he was a letter G or something like that. But yeah, so he was alphabet. So yeah.
Right.
He finally got 45. So just keep up a lot.
So, Jaylen, how do you balance the accomplishment of having your dream come true, being drafted into the NFL, and staying hungry to accomplish that next goal?
Right. So at first it's kind of stars. You kind of seeing things like that, but it just all comes back down to football at the end of the day. Like once you get into the door, of course, you're going to see guys that you grew up watching. You're going to see all these different guys that are great, have great careers, have had great careers. So when you come back down to it, it's simple. It come back down to football, and it's about the next level is about performing. You're not on scholarship. It's a 9 to 5. It's a job. So it's about your performance, what you put out there, your value to the team, value to the organization. So, I mean, balancing it won't be hard. I was pretty much prepared for it. The 6 months that I spent at Alabama definitely helped me prepare for it. And it won't be that hard to balance for me. Because you got to come in and know what's what and what you're focusing on. So for me, it just be keeping the focus, keep my head straight, and we all good pretty much.
And are they going to replace the turf at MetLife? They need to.
I hope so.
My God.
If they haven't already, I hope so.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Hannah.
Okay, before I ask my question, I want to show you this video real quick, okay? So you kind of know what I'm talking about. Because this, you know how they say things live rent-free in your head? This lives rent-free in my heart and mind all the time.
Have you gone up against any quarterback that slightly resembles Kyler Murray?
No, I don't feel like I have going against a quarterback slightly resembling Kyler Murray, but I feel like Kyler Murray is not where everybody... I'm good.
He said, no, I'm
He said, I'm good.
Best thing ever. Like,
when he cleared his throat, no, I'm good, because he knew what was going to happen to me.
Just imagine Saban going,
crap, I'm answering for real.
That's tough.
Yeah. So, I guess a little bit of kind of a background question for you. You know, when you realize this next class, 2025, they were not born when Nick Saban was announced as Alabama's head coach. Like, that's how long Nick Saban had been established, right? So you look at that, you look at the history, let's be honest, Nick Saban's one of the reasons many kids came to the program. You explained that a minute ago when you talked about the DBs, how some of them fled, they came here for him. But you look at the transition. We've talked a lot about this on the show I'm on Wednesdays. You look at what Kalen DeBoer's done. So a twofold question. A, from guys still on the team, how happy are they with him? And secondly, when you are kind of a player, maybe a DB, whatever position you want to say, and you are kind of entering that. I mean, how do you think that's going to change the way some of these players are decommitting, their mindset towards Alabama when all they've known is Nick Saban? I mean, we all know more coach than Nick Saban, but, for young guys, 17, 18 years old, going to be true freshmen, that's all they've known at Alabama. So, first question is, what do you think about Kalen DeBoer? And then secondly, how is that going to kind of change the next couple of years, the way people come to Alabama because Nick Saban's no longer there?
Right. So he's truly the GOAT. So when a guy like that kind of retires, that's the face of a program, face of an iconic brand like the Tide. It's definitely going to cause a ripple effect. I mean, that's what it does. That's in anything in life. That's like a comet hitting the earth. It's gonna be a ripple effect, and a lot of people are going to feel it. But it has to be a replacement. So with him retiring, it has to be somebody that comes behind him, and probably couldn't ask for a better coach and Coach DeBoer. He's going to come in. He's going to do a great job. Obviously, it's kind of different when you're trying to you're coming behind history. So it's going to be kind of different, but he's a great coach, and I have all the faith in him.
lot of people don't realize how difficult that is, though, to follow a coach like that. I played for, Mike Dubose, who followed Gene Stallings, who won, the previous national championship before Coach Saban came in. And if you don't live up to that expectation, they will run you out of town quickly. So that's a lot of pressure, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out this fall.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm just happy that you got drafted, man. And I think you're going to, well, I know you're going to do really well, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate that.
Cuz.
You notice he says your cousin, and it's that we got a draft pick on. He's, hey, cuz. When you make it, don't forget cuz over here. There's on to you, Steve.
There's in our private chat, it says, cuz, can you add me as a beneficiary on your checking account? What's that?
That's my cousin. No, we don't do that. This family run deep. We don't do that. No, we don't. Cuz, we don't do that. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about that.
Before Petty goes, Jaylen, last week we had Kobe Prentice on. Really driven young man, really excited about what he's going to do next season, and really all the group of these talented wide receivers. Can you share with us some battles that maybe you guys had, and then how it made you better as an individual?
All right, so it's about every day in practice, going against those guys, KP, Jermaine Bird, IB. It's about it every day, and you go out there because you don't want to get put on nobody's tape. so it's a game every day. It's Iron Bowl, it's Alabama, LSU, Alabama, Georgia. It's every day. It's the national championship every day. So you're going against those guys, whether it be shorts and shirt walkthroughs. Nah,
only you, man.
I don't know about that part. But all camp scrimmages, throughout the week of the season, you're going against those guys every day, and those battles get ultra competitive. So it prepares you for the next level because those guys across from you are going to be draft picks,
right?
Ultimately, so that's preparing you for the next level because you're already ready to go against NFL talent, and it's just polishing up once you get to the next level.
Okay, so I got a serious question, and Marvin, I think he's harped on it. Bo has harped on it. What do you think about? Okay, I'm trying to go back to the transfer portal. A guy transferring out through the transfer portal and coming back. How do you feel about that? Do you welcome him? Does he have to work harder to gain trust? What's your take on it?
So I think it's kind of the same thing. So in that particular situation, that's part of the ripple effect. I mean, it hit everybody hard, and I can only imagine being actually still on the team and that happened.
Right.
You kind of see it different playing on the team because, of course, those are your brothers. Those are guys that you blood, sweat, and tears with every day. So, of course, you wouldn't want your brother to leave, but it's two sides to every story. People have to do what's kind of best for them.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what the locker room is made up of. It's made up of a bunch of different stories, and everybody there got a different story of how they got there and why they're playing the game. So that's kind of the other side of it. So you kind of understand it as being that guy's brother, because that's ultimately what it is. These guys are your brothers that you're playing with. So you kind of understand his reasoning. You know, sometimes your little brother kind of do things that aren't best for him. And yeah, in the moment, you're kind of agitated at him, but in the end, I guess he missed home.
Yeah, well, because like when
he decided to come back, and I don't blame him.
I feel you. Like when I was playing, it wasn't no transfer portal, but the players just was mad and they didn't want me on the team.
Jaylen, that kind of plays into my question, man. Team chemistry is so important in football. You can look at teams like Texas A&M, for example, who notoriously just spent like crazy in the portal. You get all those guys there, and chemistry really matters. It doesn't always work just because you got the best dudes. The days of signing 25 kids and you riding it out with those guys for 3 or 4 years, and then that chemistry is not there. So you see teams struggle with that in this era of the portal. How hard was that for you? You were a 1-year dude. You came from UAB. to integrate yourself with a a whole new team and build that chemistry? What's that look like in this era of the portal? Because again, it can make or break teams with this unlimited free agency we got.
Right. So for a long time in college football, that's pretty much what it was. It was guys coming to school. So you got to stick it out for 3 to 4 years. It's a process, and that's what Alabama is built on, the process. And me coming in and spending pretty much 6 months there, it's a different type mindset. You got to come into somewhere and you have to evolve pretty quick. You have to become one pretty quickly with everybody else. You get there, everybody else already know the schedule. Nobody's really gonna babysit you and help you out. You got to kind of see what's going on, and you got to grow up quick. And that's what it is. And they got a tremendous support staff around it for anything that you need, pretty much anything that you need to get taken care of. But me going there for just 6 months and arriving there, and there's a bunch of guys that have been there for all these different years, is seeing what those guys do, seeing the things that those guys do every day, the impact that they make on other guys, and picking up on that. Then after that, just comes down to football, meshing with the rest of the defense, meshing with the rest of the room, and hey, that's
you missed out on one of the greatest experiences of going to the University of Alabama. You know that, right? There used to be this Mexican place on the strip called Pepitos. Oh, yes. Man, they had the best taco. Oh, they ruined it for y'all, man. Y'all missed out on a movement.
No.
I was not sure where you were going with that, Marvin, but
Pepitos
is absolutely not where I was expecting.
Listen, we used to go to Pepitos all the time after workouts, man. When they closed Pepitos, they messed up a movement, man.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna go referring to fourth quarter.
Nah, Pepitos, tacos, cheese.
The moon wings. You missed out on the moon wings.
You shut that down.
The moon wings. I got crabs at the buffet.
All right.
But it's
not at the buffet.
He was just itching to tell that. Listen. We're gonna go through our speed round, and then we're gonna let Jaylen go. For me, real quick, it's a question I ask every current player and every former player. This kind of tells us where you stand with us. Better place to eat ribs, Dreamland or Archibald's?
I got to go Archibald's.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, I'm from Tuscaloosa. We all know Archibald's is the best.
The police are looking for you, Steve.
Nah, that's somebody that was Dreamland calling because they pissed off about that answer.
Man, we have upset Dreamland these last few shows. I tell you what, man, you Bama boys have been good though so far. Yeah, our more recent group of players have got a good taste buds because it is absolutely only one answer to that question.
Well, because the older guys, they ate Dreamland when it was really good before
they ate Dreamland before
and became commercialized, which it was good back then.
Right.
We ate Dreamland in the 80s and 90s when it was only up on the hill behind
Walmart.
I ate Dreamland because our rowing facility was on that same road, Northport, and they would give us free banana pudding.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't get the real Dreamland.
Exactly.
Hey,
you didn't get it when Big Daddy was running it. You didn't get the real.
You didn't ask me the question. I was just saying why I ate Dreamland.
All right, Hannah, you're up.
That banana pudding was good.
Jaylen, let me just give you a stat and then I'll ask you a question, okay? So let's just take a moment to appreciate that under Nick Saban, since Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa, there have been 49 first-round draft picks. Since 1936, Auburn has had 30. Okay, so let's just put that into consideration because, just to shut some people up. But my question for you is this, Jaylen. When you look at, the SEC as a whole, right? When you look at what the SEC has been able to do, I think it's worth noting that let me just ask a very honest question. If you could remove one team from the SEC, who would it be? Let's just ask it. If you could remove one team from the SEC and boot them to the Pac-12 or the Big Ten, I don't care where they go, who would it be and why?
Auburn.
Yep.
All right. Good answer.
That's not nice.
What are you gonna say?
They can go to the ACC. I don't care. I'll trade them from Clemson.
ACC. I'm thinking that's Conference USA, the American.
After losing to New Mexico State, it seems like they need to go to the damn Sun Belt.
That's not nice.
I agree.
That's not nice.
Good answer.
Nah. Auburn, definitely.
That's not nice.
Marvin.
If I could, I'd find you guys the perfect picture.
Oh, you okay? You got something to back it up. The answer. All right.
All right. Well, I don't have another question for you, but I want to prepare you because you know the rookie talent show is coming up, right?
Right.
Do the
Ice,
Quinn
ice,
Williams
baby.
impersonation for the rookie talent show.
Man,
I
he's trying to
feel
get you
like
jumped down,
that
man.
will
Don't
give
do
you
it.
rave reviews at the rookie talent show if you do the Quinn Williams impersonation of the interview about Kyler Murray.
No,
Gotta get-
Or dropping Nick Saban D's nuts joke. Did you get any of those?
you said, have I seen any of them?
Did you hear any D's nuts jokes in the Saban time? Not seen them. God, go.
Petty,
believe
you've
so.
been looking at Coach Saban's nuts. That's a whole different
That's not what he said. He said, did he get the joke?
God, bless America.
Petty, let me find out you a sack watcher.
Like Coach Saban said, Coach Saban nuts longer than a CBS receipt. Look,
I'm not in this one. I'm out of that.
I'm so embarrassed. Do you know how long? Do you know how long a CBS receipt is? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Keep your composure, guys. You know what? I'm gonna start sending people home.
All right, man.
All right.
Jaylen, you were obviously a dude to play for Alabama.
A Walgreens receipt. Okay, what?
What is it?
Auburn Hate Week.
Oh wow.
Oh, the toilet.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Love it.
All right,
Jaylen, who was the one dude, like, man, obviously you playing against the best of the best. Who was the one guy you went against and was like, oh, damn, that guy's a baller?
Alabama or just we played against?
The one guy that stands out like, holy crap, that was a war that day, or that was the best dude I've seen on the field.
I just go opponent. I'd probably say Jaden Daniels. Just because he was able to run and pass at a high level. Usually when you see the dual threat quarterback, they're pretty much better at running than throwing. They have an arm because they play quarterback, but most times they're going to be more of a runner. Just this last season that we played against him, he was able to do both at a high level. So I'd say Jaden Daniels.
If I was the Bears, I would have took him over Caleb.
Yes.
That's above my pay grade.
Do you have a speed round question before you let him prop what he's got?
No, man. Like I said, man. Again, I'm proud of you, brother, and go represent us well, man. Keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna be looking for you, man. We'll talk. So, roll tide, man. And again, you're another one that we're proud of. And of course, I love you, man.
Love.
Now, Jay, we really appreciate you coming on tonight. It is an honor to be a part of your story and to hear about it and to let the folks know more about you and know whose jersey to buy in the NFL shop coming up. Before you bounce, let people know how they can find you on social media. And then if you have any merch that you have for sale for the fans, how they can get their hands on it, all that good stuff. And then we'll turn you loose.
Right. So as far as social media, you can find me pretty much Instagram _.jkey. Twitter is just Jaylen Key, maybe like Jaylen _Key. As far as merch, we haven't come out with anything yet, but coming soon. So you just pay attention to the social medias, and we'll have some out there soon where we can get some merch out and have some fun.
What's up?
Steve Brown said pink chaps and halter tops. You want to go check him out on his website?
I don't.
You gotta make some shirts some about longer than a CBS receipt now.
No, I don't sell no stuff. I don't sell that. I sell ink pen tops and earring backs. Look,
Jaylen, we greatly appreciate you, man.
After the cruise.
We greatly appreciate you. We're proud of you. And if you dare come back, we'd like to get updates throughout the season. We're your number one fan. We like to keep the fans informed, man. But yeah, until then, thank you so much again. Good luck. Do your thing. We look forward to seeing you in the Pro Bowl. Roll Tide, sir.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Good luck, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I love you, man.
All right, guys and lady, we have got to the end of the show. Surprisingly, let's go around the room. Let's promote what we got. We start always with Marvin Constant, and then we'll go to Steve Brown, then hit Daniel Petty, who's got a show later on tonight, and then Hannah will close it out.
You can find me on Instagram, Constant45, Twitter, Constant451. There's direct links to Amazon to grab a copy of my book. If you're looking to get back in shape, 3 different 6-week workout programs. Best $15 you ever spend. Amazon makes the bulk of the money. So I just did it as a resource to help people get back right, baby. So again, I'm always available for questions, and you're looking for a tool to help you get that sex appeal back in your life. Best $15 you ever spent. Roll Tide.
Does it start by making that noise?
I know, right?
It's like one of those cards you get at the store that like sings to you when it opens.
Well, actually, if you open up chapter 12 of his book, Jodeci starts playing.
The hate is real.
Steve, tell the folks what you got coming up next, how they can find you, all that good stuff.
I will be in Little Rock, Arkansas this weekend. Friday show already sold out. Still got a few tickets up for Saturday. At the Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas, and you will know it's me because I will have on my Crimson Tide gear. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Comic Steve Brown, one word, and you can follow me on my comedian Steve Brown fan page on Facebook. So that's what I have, man. And of course, I'll continue working on these love handles with Marvin's book because they do produce a lot of love handles.
Petty.
I'm disappointed every time Marvin says best $15 I ever spent that Steve don't come back. You obviously didn't go to the Moonwinks.
Right.
$15, you get a whole lot of stuff.
You see this? I should have been Armin Hammer model.
No, hey man, stay with the Bama Standard. Hour later, it coming up in an hour. Final whistle with the Avengers. Matt Caddell, Chris James, his big brother and the star of the show, Dan James, our enforcer Lou, the man that keeps us all together, Ty Hayes. Man, check us out in an hour. We always cut up, have a good time. At some point in the night, I'm probably really going to rip into Auburn like I usually do. So if you like making fun of Auburn, that's always a good spot.
You're going to rip into Auburn like
Feel free to have me on your show sometime.
Yeah, man, we need Hannah on there to really get us in check. And look, I love y'all just derailed my D's nuts joke. I didn't say I saw. No, man. Check us out in an hour. Daniel on the Petty on the Final Whistle. Check me out on Facebook. It's Petty. There's not many EYs out there. And man, check this lady out above us. Her show with she's awesome. I'm gonna let her go now.
No PBR drinking on the job.
First off,
Petty.
Marvin, I want you to know I just bought your book.
Oh well.
Dang, that's the sell.
Arriving Friday. So anyway, roll tide. Do what?
You saw me flexing when Marvin was talking. You're like, I got to get that book.
I got a little envious. Anyway, couple of things. Obviously, you can catch me on this program on Wednesday nights with Shishi and Dan. Well, I don't know who's on tomorrow, but anyway, we have a fun show. We have a lot. We're probably the most. We have the most transplants, right? So like all these fans from other conferences and other programs join our show, and I like to make their presence known. So you can check us out tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. And then I have several things in the works. I have a new radio show coming out. It's going to be called The Right Side of Sports. And I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I'm very honored to be on this show. And thank you for letting me be a part of it tonight.
Hannah, you bought Marvin's book?
I did.
I don't feel like you.
Buy the other one.
The Big Book of Weirdos. All right.
Key. Laugh it up.
Hannah, you've been so good tonight. You've restrained yourself from the Auburn fan in the chat. I tell you what, since it's the end of the show, go ahead, get one in.
Okay. First off, I thank the Lord every morning when I wake up that my parents raised me to know the Lord and hate Auburn. I mean, literally, it is the worst thing you could possibly be as an Auburn fan. I mean, maybe a Tennessee fan, but regardless. I just want to say this. I think that next time we come to Tuscaloosa and have a show at the Bryant Museum, we need to invite Chris Williams because he has no friends. Like, he has no one to spend time with. He is on every single show. And I just feel bad for him. And we need to invite Linda. All y'all in the comments are welcome, but especially Chris Williams. He can sit at our table and we can just let him know that we love him because no one else does. And I'll say this about the Auburn Stadium. I say it every single time, but it's true. I don't know how many of y'all have actually gone to a game at Auburn, but it's nasty. As we like to show on our show, Auburn's raggedy. They're raggedy. There's nothing nice about them, but those porta potties. And I tell you why I'm saying this. My friend's getting married, and I actually Googled the name of the brand of those porta potties in Auburn, and I'm actually going to get her to get those at her wedding because they're that nice. But that's all Auburn's got for them is their porta potties. And I'll say this. I'll give Auburn one thing. They did better than us at softball this week, but that's all they've got. I mean, that's all they've got. So that's it.
Oh, wow.
Got to fact check you there, Hannah. When the massage ends and you pay, they do get some love. Me love you long time.
What? Oh my God.
Shout out to Hugh Freeze. Listen, it's been a fantastic show tonight. Thank you, everybody who's been a part of the show, whether it's been in the live chat or even after the show in the comment section, watching the replay. Thank you to this wonderful crew. Thank you, Hannah and Daniel Petty, for being here. Couldn't have done without you. Until next time, roll tide, folks.
Walgreens receipt.
Let that marinate.
It's for a national championship.
It's a Sears of Roebuck catalog.